You're weird. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Nicole, with her beautiful sister, Ashley Lorenz. You wanted to say your intro today?
No, bitch.
In today's video, we actually wanted to I guess maybe a part 2, but a more deeper dive into ableism. But in today's video, we're going to talk about internalized ableism. So would you like to explain what internalized ableism is? Do you know off the top of your head? You know, I got my notes per usual, but did you want, I know we explained it in the last video, but in this video I have some questions I didn't tell Ashley about per usual, and yeah, we're just gonna have a conversation about internalized ableism. So should I first say the definition? I know we said it before. I'll insert the definition right here, and yeah, but we want.
So you'll insert the definition, the actual definition there.
Low-key really happy,
but
because
low-key,
I learned.
isn't it basically ableism within yourself?
I like that. So yeah, it says what the definition that I really liked when I saw it was internalized society's ideas and prejudice on yourself of your disability.
That's where it stems from.
Yeah, because
should we talk about that?
It's basically a disabled individual being prejudiced to themselves because of society's views. And we kind of touched on this in the last video where I had mentioned, for me personally, give me a sec, you guys. Sorry, that's gonna be really annoying if you have to hear that the whole video. Dad, go away. We don't like to film around you. So we explained the definition of
ableism, internalized ableism.
Internalized ableism. Now let's go to a little question that I had to start off with. Ready? Yeah. And the reason I really wanted Ashley to be on this video, once again, one, because we love her on the channel, don't we guys? And two, because she actually, as much as she knows about she's more educated, I feel like, on ableism, and she's definitely a great person to talk to about internalized ableism. What are some of your internalized ableism thoughts to yourself?
Definitely I would say, why are you grabbing my phone?
Good.
I would say some of mine are definitely, some of my internalized ableism.
Can I call you out a little bit?
No, can I say that myself? Can I call
because
myself
I have
out?
the list here.
Rude as fuck. Definitely body image.
Okay. And to elaborate on that one, body image, so I have a little thing that I saw on the internet here. So body image is having body image issues rooted in the comparison between the able-bodied beauty ideal and your disabled body. Is that how you feel?
Yeah.
Because of society? Now, what do you think society views disabled people as like? Why do you think you view yourself?
That we're not the typical beauty standard.
Okay.
And that's why we're seen as less than, and then naturally, as an able-bodied person, you have insecurities, and then add disability on top of that, and sometimes you can deal with some internalized ableism with that.
All right. Anything else personally that you think you have internalized ableism? In the last video, I had mentioned not feeling worthy in relationships, which I mentioned in the beginning of this, and one on here is not being able to see yourself in a relationship, believing you're unworthy of love. I don't think I can't see myself in a relationship. I just don't feel like I'm worthy of love now. But that's my own thing with my internalized ableism because of society's views on on interabled couples.
One thing I remember I told you earlier. One thing I told you earlier was how now I don't see myself even in a committed relationship because I don't feel like that I could provide as much as they would need or want, and then they would look for it somewhere else. I'd be like, okay, go ahead, and I'll be here.
And I think we talked about this in a really early on video before, where you had said, we both had said, we now would be in open relationships because
we'll link that below.
Yeah, I'll link it below. Low-key, when we talked about that, we both said, what did we say?
That we wouldn't mind being in an open relationship now.
And that's honestly internalized ableism a little bit. Our dad's grilling, and you just finished the fries on the grill.
He made this crispy.
Go to hell. Okay, we're gonna eat and talk.
No. Ugh, hot.
One thing that I had written down that I feel like I am internalized ableism is I do miss out on events due to the fear of existing in traditionally able-bodied spaces. I really, you know, sometimes like when we go, I think a lot about it, and I think like my family and friends all know this, but I think a lot about when we go somewhere, and then I'll kind of talk myself out of like, I don't want to do that anymore because I don't want to be in an environment that I'll have to ask for help, and that's not my fault, you know? It's my own it's society not being set up for
not
disabled,
being accessible for you.
Yeah, not being acceptable enough.
Not being inclusive.
Exactly. So that's like, but it is internalized ableism because I should go and I should try to adapt, but it's also at the same time like that's a whole other thing where like society should be set up for people with disabilities, all across the board.
I mean, I always tell you, I was a homebody before, but I'm like so much more a homebody now. Like I don't want to go nowhere.
But is that, would you say because of internalized ableism?
Because I don't want to be like a burden when I get there. So I'd rather just stay home. Come to me.
Which, with you speaking about burden, I wanted to ask you this question. Sorry, I keep looking at this phone here, but I have like this cute little diagram. Not requesting / pursuing accessibility for fear of being a burden.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little bit of internalized ableism.
Yeah, and that's, I definitely feel like
because
you
know what,
all the time.
I feel like as disabled individuals, sometimes they do get told a lot, like shit for speaking out on places that aren't accessible. Like, oh, why would you do that to that place? Like, why would you call them out? Like,
there's not a demand for people with disabilities.
Yeah, they only get like one disabled person a year, so why do they have to be accessible? Well, maybe they would get more.
You're the only one that comes there that's disabled. Okay, well, one person still is one person that needs accessibility. Because if that was you, you would want it to be accessible.
You would want it to be made and set up for you personally.
Yeah.
So,
you think he listens?
He listens to the videos I did. Okay, so
what are you doing?
We touched on a little bit of like our own internalized ableism thoughts and like what we personally feel like. Oh, yeah, music today. What we personally feel like.
Rooftop neighbors?
I think so. Like what we personally feel like is our own ableism thought. But now I had a question for you, and this is gonna dive a little deeper into ableism because this is also gonna be kind of showing our ableism, right?
Okay.
What were your thoughts of disabled people before you were disabled?
My thoughts.
I'll go first.
Oh yeah.
So I won't put you on spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you this before, but I used to always think this is for me personally, when I used to see people, I used to always think they were sick. And another thing, ableist, that I used to do and never stopped it, even when I got yelled at as a little girl by an older lady who needed that restroom, is I've always used the accessible restrooms. I mean, now I'm doing it all the time because I have to. Sorry about that. Sorry for the cut. We were talking to our father. So we were talking about the bathrooms. I used to use them. That's something ableist that I did. What about you?
I used to use the handicap bathroom.
No, but let's see, like, I know that I used it all the time. I liked the big bathroom. Like, that's what's that. I know that I did. That's so bad.
That is really bad.
Could be why this happened to me. Oh, I'm joking. Why do you think you had those ableist thoughts before your injury? Speak before your injury, like if you could look back.
I think, so even though I think, yes, I probably had ableist thoughts before the injury, like I didn't know anything about disabilities really before I got disabled myself. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I knew a little bit. But I don't think that I really...
But you really what?
I don't think that I really like knew that I thought of it that much until I became disabled, and I'm like, damn.
Well, to be completely honest, I never heard of the term ableism until I got injured.
True. Same.
You and I were just talking about that today, how we feel like we never heard about this before, and then I told her, I was like, I have to think about it though. My feed, like, I have stopped following so many people, but I have brought in so many like disabled, not just people in the spinal cord injury community, all types of disabilities, because I want to be more aware. I want to be more, I don't know, I guess educated.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to touch on when it comes to internalized ableism?
Well, a good one that you touched on last video was the worthy one.
Yeah, which we kind of touched on in this video, but like that is a sense of internalized ableism that I have. And I guess this video was more geared towards individuals with disabilities who have internalized ableism, because I guess the able-bodied person wouldn't have your own internalized ableism. But it's it can be hard to retrain your mind to stop thinking those things.
Yeah, and because the only reason that we have it is because society is set up in a way to make disabled people feel as
like smaller than, not.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And I know we talked about in the last video, like, what can you do to change? But what do you think yourself can do to change your own thoughts? It's not the whole people. What can you do to stop yourself from thinking internalized
just unlearn
ableism thoughts?
What society has kind of taught us since the young age.
I think for me a lot, it's been a lot of like building my confidence to feel worthy enough. Self-love, which, you know, I'm working on that. I feel like I'm definitely in a way better place than I was before, but I still definitely, of course, the last video, I record my videos usually only like 2-3 days in advance, so that was a pretty fresh video, and I still feel that way. So still building up that, you know, confidence. I know I'm worthy, and I think I can honestly say I know I'm worthy. It's not that I don't know that I'm worthy, it's just that I don't think that other people will view me as worthy. And that's my problem. And I need to work on that myself. And what about you for like when you said like feeling like a burden, what do you think you can work on yourself to not feel that way to people?
Knowing that even others may actually see it as a burden still. I don't know how they feel, obviously, like,
yeah,
you know, actions. But
okay, so then what can you make it?
No, because I know others may see me as a burden, right? Like, I don't know, you know, actions or whatever. But I guess something for me to do to make myself feel like I'm not a burden is learn to understand that my needs are just as important as an able-bodied needs. They just
like
look
maybe
a little
that it's
different.
not your fault that you can't do it.
Yeah. And it's not my fault that I need help with my needs.
And then now what would you say?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. Now what would you say about, what about going out? We had talked about not going places. What do you think you can stop your internalized ableism from thinking those things?
That's kind of just getting more comfortable with going out.
Building the confidence.
Yeah, building the confidence that, like, you know, if it's not accessible, maybe hopefully I'm with people that understand that to either go somewhere else or like figure something out, you know?
And maybe too, I don't know, this is like just like something that I'm thinking of, even for myself, maybe talking to your friends. Like, I know something for me that really makes me feel more comfortable is I ask one friend that's going, or even if I'm going one-on-one with a friend, I make sure I ask them, like, hey, are you comfortable with this, XYZ? If Ashley's coming with, I'll ask them, are you okay with this, XYZ? Because honestly, personally for me, like, if I need your help, can I ask you? Like, which means, like, if we go out, can you not get too crazy lit where you can't help me? Like, can we, like, be responsible here? And that definitely has helped me with wanting to go out, asking those questions. I mean, today we're supposed to be going to a bonfire, and I asked her, do you think we'll be able to fit in your backyard? And she said, yeah, let's see. So we're gonna try. Maybe I'll come back later tonight, I'll let you know if we did. But those are just things that make me feel more comfortable in social events.
Just like being aware of what you're going into.
Yeah, so that's something that helps me with my own internalized ableism. Because you know what, if we want to go somewhere, we should go. Yes, there may be restrictions. Yes, there may be like things we have to, like a bump in the road, like literally a bump in the road. But hopefully we have the people with us that can help us. And you know, me and her are just going by ourselves. We can look at a different pathway to go to make ourselves feel more comfortable with that event, even if that means visiting the place beforehand.
True.
Tonight we're going because it's somewhere close to us, so it's like okay, we're gonna do this because if we can't, then we can easily come home on our own without bothering anyone, which is again feeling like a burden to people, but that helps us knowing that it's close to be able to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
That was just like a little example in today's like real life world.
Real life world.
I think we touched on some pretty good things that dig deeper into internalized ableism. Is there anything you want to add?
Nothing I can really think of right now. What about you? You had any
Is
more
there
questions
anything
in your notes?
No. Is there anything that you want to say maybe to like a newly injured person who's maybe feeling these internalized ableism thoughts as they're newly injured? Like, what ways do you kind of fix that? Because I mean, we talked about what we felt like before. So what do you feel like now? Like, as someone who's now disabled, being someone who was able-bodied, you weren't born disabled, so how did you retrain your mind to stop thinking that when you got injured? Even before knowing what internalized ableism was, like, how are you training your mind to do that? Was it basically like all the things I said, or is there something deeper that you do? Like, I like to reflect a lot.
True. I reflect a lot.
I know you like to write, so does that help you kind of get out society's ideals? I mean, you've got to retrain your mind. It's very much possible, but you got to want to do the work, the educating. Like,
it's just a journey. It's a process.
I love educating myself, and anyone watching this video probably likes to educate themselves too, and that's probably why you're watching, because this whole month has been educational videos. And I think it's good to keep learning new things, and also put yourself in check. Put yourself in check if this is to the newly injured person. Put yourself in check if you're having those thoughts, because you are worthy, and I just want anyone out there who's newly injured or not, you are worthy enough. And I'm saying that, and I just said all that stuff about not feeling it, but like I said, I know that I'm worthy enough. It's just that I don't feel like other people will see it. But I need to retrain my mind that I am worthy. We're beautiful, you're gorgeous. Life is so different now, or if you're born disabled, life is different for you, but we can flourish in this world. Just because society is not set up for us doesn't mean that we can't evolve and grow in the space that we're given, provided. Anything else?
I just started yelling at the end there.
Because Gummo was barking. I want to make sure they could hear. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all for watching these videos this month. This is the second to last video for Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month. So leave in the comments below what last video idea you want. What are you really curious about learning about spinal cord injuries? Do you want my sister in the next video? Do you want us to just come up with the idea and be goofy on camera? Let me know in the comments below, because we appreciate the support. Yep.
Here's my dad.
Low-key video. Love you. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow my sister. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to follow your girl. And thank you so much for watching. Peace, baby.